What date do I put
I
on this
said-
one? All right, call the meeting to order at 7:02. Can I have roll call, please?
Yep. Jan Ross.
Here.
Eric Miller. Ken Shepard.
Here.
Holly Haynes.
Here.
Harvey McCluskey.
Here.
Donna Simmons. Here. Chrissy Kaminsky.
All right, has everyone had a chance to look over the minutes?
Motion to approve the minutes.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Yep. Ross.
Yes.
Eric Miller.
Yes.
Ken Shepard.
Yes.
Holly Haynes.
Yes.
Chrissy Kaminsky.
Yes.
Harvey McCluskey.
Yes.
Donna Simmons.
Yes.
Any additions or corrections to the agenda? No? No visitors? Do we have any correspondence and actions? And how about unfinished business? Just, we ready to talk about the budget?
Yes.
All right.
So last month, you were provided the 2026 draft budget that will go to administration. You received it electronically as well for your review. So now is an opportunity, since you had a little bit of time to review, if there's any questions or anything to help clarify.
So do you want to go just overall or by area, or do people have lots of questions? Or, I mean, I had a few just areas where I saw increases in revenue that didn't seem to correlate with increases in expenses.
Sure.
And maybe if we could, so like the big one I think was in golf operations. So there's quite an increase in taxable revenue, which would be the food, I assume, right?
That's correct.
But I didn't really see any offsetting for that big of an increase in revenue. I didn't really see where any expenses went up. So did something else go down? Because I'm assuming you're going to have increased expense if you're selling more stuff.
With the taxable sales, that's ultimately, we're just identifying what we're seeing as part of trends and what we're seeing with sale. With those types of items, we are just seeing a larger volume of individuals who are utilizing the course, which means that they're purchasing things while they're attending the course. So that doesn't change staffing, that doesn't change an expectation of any of the operations. It's ultimately, we have a higher volume of individuals who are participating at the course for multiple different reasons.
So you don't have expense that corresponds with that revenue?
We have,
The stuff you're selling, in other words?
oh, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
There is an increase to that. However, that revenue would still traject upwards because of, again, we're selling more than we have in the past. So that would not negatively impact our expenditures.
Okay. It just seems like the increase in revenue is quite a bit larger than the increase in expense. I just want to make sure we aren't missing something.
Well, and understand that our taxable sales as part of our cost recovery is expected to be over 100% of that recovery. So anything that we're purchasing and reselling, we are making a profit on.
Okay. Let's see what else. I mean, I totaled it up in total, so total revenue, it increased. And I compared to budget because I figured that was more, that was better than, because the year-to-date's not a full 12 months, even though your programming's probably in there. So total revenue from last year's budget to this year increased about 5%, and then total expenses went down about 1%, it looks like. And the cost recovery, so I assume, so we show a loss of 713, and I know this doesn't include any of the payroll, so I don't know how that affects it, but are all of the cost recoveries in a good place with this budget?
It is. So the one thing to keep in mind is that the expectation that we would spend every dollar appropriated is what is evaluated as part of the draft budget, but it is not also anticipated that that would be realized. There's a lot of different reasons for that.
Understood, yeah.
Of course, we are not open for every day of the season due to weather or other extenuating circumstances. So the budget is evaluated to be if we were to be operable for every single day of the season specific. Also, a consideration is that we do base our budget off of programs that may not exist quite yet. So there are contractual expenditures that are presented as a expenditure, and that does make a change with revenue. So if that program does not run, we don't spend that money, but we also don't recognize the revenue. So that's also a consideration when we're evaluating that cost recovery strategy.
Okay. And then it looks like the big increases in terms of their profitability are camps and golf, which for sure I know we've talked a lot about golf all year. Are you projecting that you can increase your camp attendance as well?
So the camp and the demand on camp continues to grow. So we are making those accommodations in order to not only meet that demand, but also to present the opportunity as much as we can to the community.
Yeah, well, you have to add staffing for that, I assume, and that's what the contingency would be, right?
That's correct.
Yeah. I think those were my big questions. Does anyone else have questions? Ken?
I've got a couple of questions. Under senior operations, if you look at materials and supplies, excuse me, the 25 approved is 20,000, and yet the 26 request is over 30,000. That's a 50% increase. Is there a reason? I know supplies have gone up the last year, but I don't know that they're going to go up that much next year compared to this year.
So we are very excited to move into a new building in 2026. So there is an expectation that those materials and supplies will need to be increased in order to accommodate the move.
Okay.
Before we move off senior center, if I could real quick, I did notice though, with that new building, I would have thought revenue maybe would be a little bit higher. Is that just being conservative because of when you get in?
That's exactly right.
Okay.
We don't want to, we would be projecting off of many unknowns. So we are being conservative with that evaluation, knowing and understanding that we do anticipate a large influx of membership. However, that we would like to understand when we move in before we're projecting outside of that.
But hopefully longer term, we'll be able to see an increase in that number.
Agreed.
Okay.
And similar to that's how we managed, if you recall, the golf course with COVID. Over the years, we had projected lower, not knowing if the increase of participation was sustainable. Thankfully, it has been. And so we've been able to adjust our projections based off of the trends that we're seeing.
Go ahead, Ken, I'm sorry.
One last question. Under street trees, it has contract services. You went from 212 and 24 approved to 427,000 in 2025 approved. And right now, you're only at 99,000 for the year to date for 2025. What was that 427? Why was that so high?
So there's a few things there, and you will see this was the numbers that were presented to you, and they were July end of month. So there are still multiple months that will incur some more expenditures. We do have funds appropriated that are planned for those monies. One is an inventory of our trees. So that is a contractual agreement where it is outsourced to get a full inventory of the trees that we have, not just street trees. So that is an expenditure that will be recognized by the end of year. We also have a large fall planting that will be contracted and will also require use of those funds. So understandably that we do anticipate to still have some funds remaining. The street tree program is a new program. So there are adjustments that we will continue to make as that program continues to thrive. But we do have pear removals as well as plantings that will require a higher expenditure and a request for contract services.
Now, you have contract services and professional services under street trees. What's the difference?
Yeah, so professional services is, the request in 2025 was for a master plan for street trees, or not just street trees, but an arbor master plan. So that was similar to the Parks Master Plan, where you have a operational plan. So we utilize professional services in order to gain that contract. Whereas the contract services are those other contracts, such as, again, the tree plantings or tree removals that we outsource.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
I got a question on the golf operations and swimming pool operations. Do these budgets include increases in fees, like pool registration fees and cart fees and green fees and?
So yes, so the increase for revenue, is that what you're asking?
Yes.
For 2026? Yeah, so
you're
the.
anticipating fee increases to get to
Yes,
these numbers?
any adjustments do include increases to
Increase in fees.
operational fees. That's correct.
Which we'll have to approve before we can,
No, the Parks Board doesn't approve the operational fees for the position. You approve the cost recovery model. So as long as we stay within the limits of the cost recovery model, that is what
Then we're
this
okay.
board approves. That's correct.
And we approve like with non-residents and things like that, how that kind of, like those kinds of things, but not the actual fees.
like, the cart fees go up.
Right.
We don't have to approve, right.
Right. Did you have more questions?
Why are there no utilities for Hunter's Ridge Pool? 2026 request?
You're right.
Yeah, I missed that.
That is an error, and that is not an accurate reflection of what we need. So that is not accurate.
Do I get a piece of candy?
You should. You get more than that, because we need to pay the water bill, so.
Other questions or comments?
I'm good.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for providing it in advance. That was very helpful.
Yes, thank you.
All right, next we have new business, a fee waiver. So the attachment didn't go through online, but it's now in the packet. So it's from Katie Roslovic for the Gahanna Lincoln High School. And it is on Friday, September 19th at Woodside Green, asking for a fee waiver, and the rental amount to be waived would be $100. And the other note Nicole made is that this group uses it usually at the end of the year as well, although this is a different teacher requesting it. Anybody have any questions or? Ken?
Have we had this come up before, last year?
So this group has had it come up, but not this particular person, or not for this particular event, correct?
So typically this class provides, they do an activity during the week, during the final days of school, but they have not, I don't think, come up with a fee. I have not found historically a fee waiver for that specific use for this group. This is the high school developmental disabilities class.
What did you say? The high school what?
The developmental disabilities class for the high school. Or multiple disabilities, so this is that class. They normally do, they use Woodside a lot, but it's usually Monday through Thursday, so it doesn't always require a fee waiver, whereas this one does. And just a note, obviously if you look at the date, this is 2 days from now. She did ask for it a month ago, but it was right after our meeting last, so I told her it would have to wait. She is aware that she may or may not have an answer, but she will wait for it. So.
Since it's only 2 days away, it's probably not going to be rented anyway, so,
As of now, it is not.
Correct.
I make a motion to approve the fee waiver.
yeah, I'll second it.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Sorry, one second, please. All right. Jan Ross,
Yes.
Eric Miller,
Yes.
Ken Shepard,
Yes.
Holly Haynes,
Yes.
Chrissy Kaminsky,
Yes.
Harvey McCluskey,
Yes.
Donna Simmons.
Yes.
Right, thank you. I do think, and I know we say this all the time, but it would be good for us to kind of look at the overall, what all we did by organization at the end of the year, because I do think it's getting a lot, that at some point, we're going to have to figure out how we handle it. And it may be that we continue to do waivers, but maybe we reduce the amount of the waiver or something to that effect.
At
So-
this point, all the ones of this year have been the schools. So,
Yeah.
that's where we're at.
I have a question about the fee waivers. Do we have a criteria for which we decide who to waive fees for and who not to?
Yeah, Nicole, can you remind us the ones we have to approve? Do you remember what the criteria?
So right now, the schools are the only ones that are automatically able to use the shelters. It's just the shelters, the outdoor spaces, Monday through Thursday in either the first or second shift without a request. They would still come and book it through us, but it doesn't require you guys to approve any kind of fee waiver. So that is part of your pricing policy that you guys approve each year. It's part of that when you get to that point. But it's really just for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, if they're looking to request it, because those are all considered weekend days. And at this point, I think in the last 2 years, they've all been schools and maybe one church group.
There's been some, yeah, except for the churches get a
Corinne,
discount anyhow, don't they?
They do get an automatic, yeah. So nonprofits get a 25% discount without coming to you guys. That's part of the pricing policy for a reduction in their fees. They still pay a security deposit and the rental fee, but it's 25% off. If they're asking for above that, then it comes to you.
And I mean, in terms of why we would or wouldn't improve it, I mean, I think we try to look at people we partner with in the community, which is why these generally get improved. Like I said, I just think at some point, we just maybe need to your point, maybe refine how we make those decisions even more, so. Good question.
Is that pricing, the discount policy for the schools, is that published? Do they know that?
I mean, it's part of the pricing policy, so it's
Okay.
public, I mean, it's
They
out
do,
there,
it's
you guys approve it, council approves it, or it gets recommended for approval to council, and then council, adopts it, so it is out there.
Okay.
Whether the teachers know it or not is another
Yeah, it's too bad we
story.
don't have school board anymore.
So, I mean, a lot of them do know, they get the word out there, so a lot of them are starting to hear, like, they know that, and when they call and ask for a shelter, they are told that.
Okay. Yeah, I guess we'll just need it would be nice to have a year-end review. I agree with Jan.
We can update the one I gave you at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Which I think is updated anyway. I have it, I just haven't reprinted it for you.
Yeah, no problem.
And we can get that sent out to you.
Thank you.
Any more discussion on that?
I will state that it's, the pricing policy will come in October, so that might be a good opportunity
Okay.
to discuss any opportunities for change.
Yeah, if we could have that updated for next meeting, that would be a helpful tool, like what we've done so far
Got it.
year-to-date.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or if we have further back too,
I'll-
not push in too far, but it would
I
be
can
nice to
email
have
it to you.
the number, yeah.
Yeah,
That'd be
I'll
great.
email it to you after this, tomorrow, probably.
Yeah, and then a year-to-date, that'd be helpful to have in our faces for next month.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Director's report?
Yeah, you will see within your packet, there is a great review. The aquatics review, again, very thankful for the participation throughout the community with the amount of not only swim lessons, but just overall visits. We had a great year at the pool this summer. One thing that I'll note that the splash pad is still open, and we have seen great participation with the splash pad as well. So thankful to at least have that resource since we're still recognizing 80 degrees days through September. You'll also see a list of activities. Tomorrow is the Senior Expo at the Sanctuary. And then next Wednesday is the last Gahanna Market for the season. So if you have the opportunity to come and participate, that would be much appreciated. Everything else within the report, I would be happy to answer any questions that you have.
How did the feedback go from the event last month, the suite? I forget what it was called.
Sweet celebration. So
Yes.
the attendance was great. There were more individuals than what was anticipated, which is always a great outcome. I mean, lots of different comments, conversations. The Creekside plan, again, lots of positive comments just around some improvements that are anticipated. So overall positive. It was great to have some good feedback.
It was a nice, I thought, event.
Good.
Did you guys set up a formal community garden relationship with Grin? I see 9 pounds of zucchini and all that was donated.
So what that is if you look on the community gardens that exist at Hannah Park as well as Friendship Park, there is signage on the gardens to state that if you have any produce or if you have an abundance of produce, then you can leave it and our staff will then take it to Grin, or if you feel comfortable with us harvesting your produce, then we'll do that as well. It's just a communication with our horticulturist and the individuals who manage the gardens. So through that, we've been able to reduce food waste, donate to Grin, have more participation with our garden participants. So overall, it's a win-win for everybody. So we hope to continue that. This is the first year that we've done that, and it was through an effort. Brenda, the executive director of Grin, is extremely passionate about just understanding what food waste is and how we can prevent it. And so it was through her direction and her passion is where this came about. So we hope to continue to grow and expand that opportunity, but that does exist today, and our horticulture team are embracing the opportunity, so they're thankful to be part of it.
That's amazing.
Did we find that the community garden that was planted beside Rockwood Dry Cleaners, did the individuals actually come out, maintain, and harvest the
It was
vegetables?
wildly successful.
Great.
Wildly successful, to the point that we are in discussion with Grin in order to expand, to add more troughs for more raised gardens. So very happy, Brenda and her team were very happy with the effort that was put forth and the understanding of, this is it's a commitment that you're signing up for. And I'm sure if you drove by it just, things looked healthy and fruitful, and it's such a change, a positive change. So thankful to, again, be part of that.
Would the expansion be at that location?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. We always maintain and look for other opportunities for community gardens, water access, making sure that it's visual. And actually, there's pros and cons for it to be visual from street view. But ultimately, it's been positively received, and hope that continues.
Did I miss the goats on the hillside? Did that already happen?
Did.
Ah, darn it.
What was it?
The goats, I missed the goats this year.
I did too.
That's amazing. I love that.
I know.
Next year?
It honestly is.
Give us an invite.
From a cost perspective and the impact, the positive impact, it's a valuable resource. So we will continue to utilize it.
So fun to watch them.
Yeah. They work. They do some work.
Have there been any updates on the skateboard park? I know they're a very vocal group, and we haven't heard from them for a while, so I was just wondering.
So if you've noticed at Shull, the asphalt has been removed, and that's taken to turf, which that was the anticipation. That is what we had expected and communicated. So that has occurred. It'll take some time for that turf to rejuvenate. As far as a location for a skate park, that has not been identified.
Have you heard from them recently? I'm just.
And I'll say at the Sweet Celebrations, there were some questions around the skate park and just, you know, if Lower McCorkle had been considered, and I of course communicated that that is no longer being considered as a location, and just given an update of, you know, how and where we are to date. But at this point, we do not have an identified location.
Anybody else have any questions or comments?
Just Tim McDermott is great from OSU Extension, so he's a perfect person to partner with. He's wonderful.
Good, that's great to hear.
Yeah.
The potential co-op with Columbus Academy for mountain bike maintenance.
Yeah.
How's that going?
Yeah, wonderful. So this was recent, days and weeks. I am not going to be able to recall, and it doesn't necessarily matter, but our team met with some of the mountain bike trail team members and really discussed about how that looked for their team to be able to integrate their skills and just their effort into maintaining the trail. So we see some positive momentum there. There's also, you know, other ideas of what types of amenities or programming activities could also occur, just to not only, you know, introduce and keep that sport growing, but also allow those students to grow in leadership. So there's some great opportunities and some great willingness from Columbus Academy.
And I think that's great. I think it's tremendous because folks who use the trail need to take ownership of it.
Yeah.
They use it, they know how to groom it for turns and berms and jumps and things like that. My concern is because Gahanna doesn't have NICA teams, and my concern would be, and maybe I'm speaking to myself when I say this, there definitely needs to be outreach because you know how kids are. They groom it, they take ownership of it, and Gahanna doesn't have teams yet, and that would be my concern is how you integrate the two, you
Right.
know, so.
Right. And well, again, knowing, and it's a new trail. So we're not only learning about the operations of it, we're also learning just the condition of the new trail and, you know, what sections of the trail we need to manage and maintain, or what changes need to occur. So we'll still call it an implementation mode of a new trail. It will take time in order for us to truly be able to continue to foster that education, but now is the time, and so having this co-op will only help those tentacles, you know, reach farther. So yeah, we hope that this just will be a great step forward into helping others know that this, you know, this is your trail. So let's take care of it and let's, you know, protect it.
And the reason I raise those issues is the combo board deals with issues related to Alum Creek Trail. There are schools in the north, Lost in the Woods, NICA teams that take ownership of Alum Creek, but if the community's there on a day that they're practicing, it becomes a really difficult situation to manage, so.
Understood.
Okay.
Understood. And that's actually, so one thing that we will need to understand, and again, from the operations standpoint, is similar to athletic fields.
Yes.
So it's not different than, you know, reservation of an athletic field. It is an asset that is a shared asset, but we also need to be communicative and understand what your expectations are when you're on site to utilize that asset. So that is absolutely, we will continue to see growth in that. So very much understood.
All right. Thank you.
I have one question just for my own information. On the mountain bike trail, are motorized and non-motorized bikes allowed on it?
So Class 1 electric bikes are allowed. So there are multiple different classes of electric bikes. So that is we'll call it the slowest, for lack of better words, that is allowable on the mountain bike trail. Mopeds are not. Those are two separate vehicles.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I move on to committee reports. I know BTAC just had a meeting.
Technically, it just happened, meeting, as you know, very well attended. Between board members and residents, we had about 13 people there. We had pawpaw bread, which is the first time I've ever had pawpaw bread, and I guess it's kind of like it looks like a pear. And they have them in the parks. I mean, they just grow wild in the parks. So very, very interesting, but it's very good too. Some of the things we discussed, we talked about the active transportation plan and transportation mobility plan. Stephanie touched on that. And I think it's also available online, if I'm not correct. Is it
It
correct?
is not yet.
But it will
So
be.
once, it will be,
Okay.
yes.
We also talked about the bike rodeo and the mountain bike training and repair man days, which is going to be tentatively April 18th in '26. Also, we talked about the Section 8 of the Big Walnut Trail, the section that's going to go along Hamilton Road, and then also how it's going to connect with the Big Walnut Trail, and I guess where you enter on 270, the trail is going to go underneath that ramp, so, which is pretty cool. It's still kind of a work in progress. We also talked about wayfinding signage on Big Walnut. I guess hopefully we'll get a grant from Morpsey to pay for that, and that would be a big help once we get that signage up. That's pretty much the highlights. When we get the minutes, I'll send everybody a copy of the minutes, so they'll go in a little bit more detail. So that's just kind of a highlight of what took place.
Thank you. Gasak?
We had a meeting yesterday, and as Steph said, the Senior Expo is this Thursday at 11 o'clock. Their membership is up to 595 members, and they're pretty excited about that. 24 new members between July and September. And the board is really pushing to increase their membership. Ned said they initially had a goal of like 575, and they met that goal. So now they've increased the goal. She didn't say what it was, though. But no, the board members are really trying to boost things over there. One thing, their golf league, they had 92 members at their cookout. It's the highest it's ever been. So they were really pleased with that. And our next meeting is November 18th at 3 o'clock, and you're all welcome.
Thank you. Yes?
One other thing I forgot to mention during the BTAC report, the Gahanna Big Walnut Bike Trails, there's three more dates that they're going to have the ride, September the 21st, October 19th, and October 26th. And it's at 1 o'clock, and I think it starts over the Historical Society. Is that correct, Stephanie? Is that where they start?
Each one typically has a different starting route, so make sure you check to see the date that you are riding.
Okay, yeah,
but
'cause that's
most
not on
often
here.
it's historical.
It just
Okay.
lists the dates.
Okay.
And they make it a historical thing, too. It's kind of like a historical ride, so. Unfortunately, it's on Sunday, so I never get to go.
All right, thanks. NRAC, any
No
updates?
meeting.
All right, anybody? We'll start with you, Ken. Any comments?
We discussed it last meeting, but I want to reiterate since it'll happen before the next meeting we have. The traveling memorial wall is a replica of the Vietnam Wall that is presently in Washington DC at the mall area. We're fortunate to have that come to Gahanna October 2nd through October 6th. This will be down at the Veterans Memorial Park. And I think you all would, I know we've got a number of seniors in Gahanna, so I'm hoping that all of them are aware of it and can get out to see it.
Don?
No?
They also need volunteers for the wall, so if anybody wants to volunteer for that, they're looking for volunteers.
Where do we sign up? Do you know?
Tom Nealon's
Yeah,
coordinating it.
Tom and Becky Neal.
Okay.
I think the VFW, if you go to the VFW website.
Okay.
I think you can sign up there.
Okay.
I can send you a link to the group of where you can sign up. So yeah, definitely encourage. It's 24 hours a day, So there's multiple opportunities for a sign up. So I'll send that link out to you.
Thank you.
Harvey, any other comments? Chrissy? No. Holly? No. All right. Anything else from you? Stephanie?
No, thank you.
All right, can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.